see. All right. So let's see if I see us on YouTube. Should be coming up in a minute here. Got a few people waiting.
Nice to hear.
Yeah.
That someone is still interested in me too.
Yeah.
You talking with me.
Well, I was trying to think, how long ago was it when I had you on before? Probably at least 2 years, at least, right?
Yeah, about.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
At least 2
Yeah,
years.
it was before Corona. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it's definitely it might be
So at
closer to
least
2
2
years
years.
even.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. Long time.
So hey everyone, people are starting to come in now. Welcome to the number 56 live stream. I'm here with Ulf. A lot of people in the community know Ulf. He's a former Kingsong community rep. Ulf, did you say you ever sold your S18 or not? Your modified S18?
My modified S18. What?
Yeah.
First, I want to say thanks for having me. I really like to be here. Yeah.
You're welcome. No, your S18 that you added the battery pack to.
Yeah, it's still modified. Yeah, it has 1850 watt hours, but I have to say the small 2 packs I used as brake pads. One of them is not working. I have to do it new because 4 cells died in it. 4 from 10.
Okay.
And but all safety precautions work. I just felt it from charging that there was missing some watt hours, and then I checked all batteries, and one was far too low.
Okay.
Each of those 10 packs had to have 40 volts, and one has only 20. And still all no fires, no shorts, nothing. All the BMS safety protections have properly worked. It has taken out the pack, ignored it, and my wheel was running on the normal ones in the wheel and the other big one I have under the handle.
So the extra pack that you had on that, did it have its own BMS? Like, did it have a BMS in the pack?
Yeah.
It did, in the pack. Okay.
Sure.
So how comes it got out of balance? Like the cells just went bad?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
I have no other explanation. It can be the BMS of this small pack got damaged. The one I'm talking about is 2 brake pads, and each is 10 cells. So each of this has a BMS, but just a 40 volt BMS, 42 volts, and is serial then to get to 84. So the BMS has a little dent, perhaps. It's from this, so that it didn't charge the cells anymore. I'm not so sure, but now I will see when I use the BMS again if it's working fine on the new cells or not.
Okay.
Or if I even have to buy a new BMS.
Right.
So in the moment, I'm only running at about 1500 watt hours.
Well,
only.
That's not too bad. Only.
Yeah. Yeah. Still good.
Yeah, still good. Are you able to see the comments here as I put them up? Can you see the comments?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So Spartacus is here. He's ready for this one. Yeah, I think some people are kind of excited, because you have a much better understanding of batteries and power systems, and with the new wheels coming out with the S20 and the Master, now we're talking about 126 and 134 volt wheel.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of talk going around, specifically about the S20, how some people say that they don't think it has as much torque as it should with that amount of voltage. Like, I guess their assumption was with a higher voltage wheel, you should have the same amount of additional torque as well.
Yeah, I would say, especially seeing that there have been 2 or 3 cutouts, and the pace in which Kingsong is releasing a firmware, they're still working on the firmware, and I guess it will not be long to see better torque versions. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure. Normally, getting up the voltage doesn't mean directly getting more torque, because torque is coming from amps. And so we are still talking about a 4 parallel system doing 40 amps. Yeah. But then it's also the overall power. With 100 volt wheel, you have about 4,000 watt continuously. And with a 26 volt wheel, you can have 5,000 watt continuously and directly from the start. So even if it's 40 amps here and 40 amps there, still the torque should be noticeable better than on a 100 volt wheel. Yeah.
Right.
But not to the extremes, as Kingsong isn't doing it like Gotway and giving a shit about the batteries, you know. My idea why we see all these fires on especially on 4P Gotways is that overstress the cells much too much, and they get damaged internally, and then one fine day when you nothing but cruise fine or charge, even with low amperage, then one cell starts to vent because it got damaged on one of your hard turns, you know. And Kingsong has a protection. It's when the cells are able to deliver 10 amps, then they make a stop at 40 amps, or at least at a peak 50 or something. You know, I don't know the exact numbers, but they don't allow to have the batteries too much overstressed.
Right, because I know that you and I have talked about that before. How one of the issues with at least in the past, the way that Gotway has approached the matching the battery to the power output of the wheel is it will allow more current to be drawn from those batteries than those batteries are rated for, and that's what causes
exactly the point.
And that's what causes the damage, and that's what makes them fail.
Exactly, and that's something. No battery management in the world system in the world can see that. Even if you see the voltages of the cells, they are still looking fine, but because of this overstressing, using them over their envelope, they get a chemical damage inside. No one can see, and then on one day it makes click. It's a little bit too much, and then they went away.
Right.
Vent is the right word.
Right. Yep.
When not going, venting in the way of starting a fire.
Right. Right. So this is something that a couple of people have asked me about, and I don't know how familiar you are with the Litec battery option that eWheels has been providing on some of the Gotway wheels, and now supposedly Gotway is going to start doing this themselves using the Litec batteries. Have you heard about that at all?
Yes, I heard about it, and I read the comments. Yes, I would say when you have in the new Master, for example, when you have the Moly cells or the Samsung 40T in it, it definitely will be a game changer. You will have about 4 times the power available, 4 times the torque available.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
And then now it makes sense that they have 24 Mosfets. Yeah, with that
Why is
much
that?
power.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
with that much power more, then it makes sense to have more Mosfets.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't say okay, it's 126 or 100, let's say 130 volts. You need more MOSFETs. It's not so easy like this because the MOSFETs are only switching which magnet has to work on the wheel. Yeah,
Yeah.
the board is a big. Um, it's changing the voltage to the motor phase, and what you have behind the MOSFET is a totally different number. We talked about this shortly.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, but to stay on the Litex battery, yeah, it will be a game changer again.
Okay.
You lose some watt hours. You
Mm-hmm.
lose some watt hours, but and some range. So obviously, and if you are powering with wheels then a lot, and you only have a 2,000 watt master, I guess you will not. We have a very far range if you really power them through hills and off-road,
Right.
it's still the same. The more you power, the faster the battery gets empty.
Sure.
But yes, it's a game changer. But sorry for I guess an expensive game changer. I have seen prices on Alien Ride,
Yeah.
upping the price for a Molicel pack for the Master $700.
Oh, really? $700 more for the
Yeah,
Molly cell. I did not know that. I knew they were more expensive. I
yeah,
didn't know they were that much. Wow.
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised too. I wouldn't have expected that much of a price
Mm-hmm.
raise. So $300, $400, $500, yeah, but 700 is a big number, I think.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't know how Gotway is handling it because I don't know if the announce from Alien Rights was for the announcement of Gotway, but I think they have to light take packs in big numbers, and perhaps then you buy over Gotway, it's not that much of an add up. But I absolutely don't know. It's just an assumption.
Okay.
And perhaps here, just to your audience, when I'm stuttering, I'm searching in my head for the right English word. Sorry, not my native English. My native
English. English is not your first language, so I think you do pretty well considering.
Yeah, but you see, sometimes I'm stuttering, and when I have a big break, then I'm trying to find the right word.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
And
so,
for the worst case, I have my iPhone lying here with a translator that I can.
There you go. That's one way to do it. Hey, so Larry Zarkov is on air promo. I guess he's familiar with Thailand, I guess. He says if you're near Pattaya, do you know where Pattaya is? I don't know where that is.
But it's Pattaya, and Pattaya is near Bangkok. And thanks on air promo, but I'm not near there. I'm at the Gulf side. I'm on a small island called Koh. It's a double island, really. It's a very, very small island, and there are about 6 dive shops, dive schools on this small island.
Wow.
In the world, it's the cheapest place to get a license for diving.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, because I didn't really explain. Ulf lives in Germany normally, but he is in the middle of a month-long vacation to Thailand, which he has done every year for a decade and a half, right?
Yeah.
15 years.
And before the question comes up, there's about I guess 8 to 10-year-old picture on the internet. Someone driving in Pattaya on a KS 18A, you know, the big ones, old ones, naked. Yeah. No, that was not me. It's not me.
People are riding around.
The only one.
People are riding around on Kingsong 18A naked, really.
Yeah,
Wow.
in Thailand, it's very, it's known in the internet. I guess it will come up after this set again.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, that's news to me. I wasn't aware of that. That's funny.
Dale Walker recently made a joke about it. That'd be me.
Oh yeah, he would do that. So Nelson asks if anyone knows the peak amperage of 20 motor. Well, it's a 3300 watt motor, right? But I don't know what the peak amperage is.
Peak amperage of the motor is that's hard to answer. When you have about 5,000 watt on battery side, and this can get to amperage when you start with 10 volts on the motor side that are 500 amps. You can get that much amperage on motor side.
Right. Well, that's one of the things I want to talk about, because that's something that you and I chatted about, because I didn't really think about this, but you said, because one of the things that people have said about the S20 is, there's been reports of people that hammer it real hard right away, that they had cutouts on the S20. And you said that when a wheel is just starting, the voltage is low. It's the voltage on the motor is not 126 volts. It's low. So the effect is the amps are super, super high when you are starting off that way, right?
On point, especially if you hammer it. Yeah.
Right.
To make myself sure that I don't talk any bullshit, I asked my friend from Einradwerkstatt. It's a German oil service, UC service.
Yep.
And they are in business since 2014. They are doing batteries since the Ninebot 1E Plus battery extensions.
I remember that.
You could add up your Ninebot in this times to 800 watt hours with them, and they are really experts. And I asked them about this thematic, so that I don't tell any bullshit. It's really that you start with 0 volts when you start driving.
Right.
So the more you hammer and the more you lean, you have a very low voltage on the motor side, but a very high amperage. It can really go up, like I said, in the 500s or even a bit more.
Right.
Yeah. When you drive normal, it don't have to be this high. Yeah. But if you really hammer it, you have low voltage, really high amperage on motor side. Not talking anything about the battery.
Right.
The battery can give 126 volts times 10 amps is 2,260 watts times 4. It's around about 5,000 watts.
Right.
That the battery can deliver. And this 5,000 watts are the board transfers to the motor side. And the transfer is not happening on the Mosfet, it's happening before. Yeah.
Okay.
On the board. The board is that's, now I don't find the word for it, the right word for it. It's it's like when you plug in something into your power plug, and it's not.
It's the surge.
Volts.
It's the surge voltage. For example, like I have a generator for my house, and it has 2 ratings, and one of those ratings is like a startup rating, because when you start something, it pulls more amps. That's why a
exactly.
generator has to have a surge voltage that it can briefly support higher amps when you start something up. And it's the same thing, I think, basically with a wheel. So my assumption is because the S20 is a higher voltage wheel, that effect is even greater than a 100-volt wheel. With a 126-volt wheel, that effect is greater, I would assume, right?
Yeah. What I wanted to say was the board is pretty much a converter. Yeah, it converts the 5,000 watt available to the motor side, and then the Mosfets are switching. It's always you can divide by 3. Yeah, you have 12 Mosfets, and for each motor phase, 4 are responsible and share the amperage that's going for this.
Okay.
And this then goes into the motor, to the 3 wires, to the 3 Hall sensors, and giving the power then.
Okay.
Yeah. And that can be really much higher as a lot of people think. And really, a lot of people don't know about this thing that your wheel starts at 0 volts. So, for example, if you only drive 10 miles per hour or 15 miles per hour, you are not going with 126 volts on your motor. You are going with perhaps 30. I don't know the exact numbers. The full 126 volts are only used on the max speed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
Well,
then you are at the end of the complete envelope. You are at the end of what the battery can give and the motor is able to do. Voltage defines the speed, the amperage defines the torque, so the lean in, how much it can give. Yeah. Or
right.
on a hill, that's also torque. Yeah. And both things together then make your wheel roll.
Well, it's interesting because the whole thing about low speed equals high amps. I mean, that probably is related to some of the other issues that I've heard with other wheels. Like, for example, I heard that people, like, if they trolleyed their Sherman for too long, they were blowing their board, and it's probably because it was pulling high amps going at such a low speed for a long period of time.
Oh, when they really blow their board by trolling, you are right. It's on a low voltage when trolling, but then there should be some obstacle because just with trolling, the amperage is very low. You
Yeah,
only have a high amperage if you hammer it, and you don't hammer it on a trolling. But I heard Sherman boards. I also heard stories that people had a blackout of their board when they were in a shop and trolling it
yeah,
around there.
right.
I guess that's more of the problem. We had that on the first versions of the KS18L. Perhaps somebody remembers. It starts stuttering when you were trolling it, or you go into a shop and from once in a while, then it totally stops, and you even have to plug out the batteries. Perhaps you remember. It's about 5 or 6 years ago,
Yeah.
and this is more of, for me, it sounds more like a PCB problem from the Sherman. It's not this that it's too much amperage from the trolling. I guess it's more the same problem that Kingsong had in these days. There are the layers are too thin on the board, and
Hmm.
the electric. Uh, sometimes you touch something and you get a small
A shock.
a small shock coming from your shoes or whatever. This
Right.
is what makes the real problem, and that can really destroy a board. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I guess
Okay.
that's now that you even say some have destroyed their board when trolleying the Sherman, then they definitely still have a PCB problem. It's too thin and not isolated from the trolley enough.
Okay.
You know?
That's interesting.
I think so, yeah. But the trolleying alone doesn't. Yeah, you are on a low voltage, but you don't draw any much power,
Right.
because that's no real. You are not standing on it. There's no leaning in. It's very low amperage also.
Okay. So Nelson asked here for a clarification about. He says, okay, so the high amperage going through the control board is what is causing the cutout at initial launch with the S20s. And I think it's probably the Kingsong firmware is what's telling it that the amp draw is too high, so it is cutting it out in that situation. That's what I assume.
So I can also only guess. The latest firmware they have sent out, 2.15 or something, has in the change notes has a sentence saying that the current bus system has a longer time before it cuts out. It has a longer time to accept long time amperage draw.
Okay.
This is the sentence is saying. So I guess they are still working on it. Yeah.
So what you saw, they're changing the firmware to change that behavior a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
They work on this. The S20 will be no cutout wheel. I know this company. It's you know, they have a max speed of about 110 kilometers, but they stop at 70. So how much more safety will you build in? You know, it's
Right.
one of their most highest priorities. I know from my time, to make a wheel that always stays on. And I can read you a sentence from those samples that are going around. You still these wheels we are seeing now. These wheels people are reviewing are pre-production models or samples. The Kingsong even calls it samples. And give me a very short moment. So, Kingsong sent his wheels out, asking all the resellers and all who wants one if they want it first, if they have to pay the extra cost for air, which was about more than $1,000 just for the air transportation. They have to pay fully for one wheel. Yeah, I don't know how it is when you buy two. It can be cheaper then, but one wheel. That's why we don't have one here in Germany at the moment. It was €1,000 extra just for air transportation. There's a crazy price in the moment, but there is one very interesting. The first samples may not be perfect. We will try our best to offer a perfect sample. If you want to prefer perfect goods, you can wait until March. So each of the sellers has the chance to say, okay, I want this not so perfect pre-production sample.
Right.
Because everyone wants to have them. Yeah, the world was crazy to see them and have them in hand. But they were pretty much warned they are not perfect yet. I just
I understand
too.
Yeah. And I think that's probably forgotten by a bunch of people, that these early wheels are meant to, and in a perfect world, it would be nice if they could test these 100% and know about all the problems and fix them right away. But these wheels that are circulating now are, like you said, they are not what is going to be produced starting in March. Well, starting this month. So it's I think
Yes.
that gets forgotten sometimes. And most people, like I'm going to have an early wheel, and my wheel's going to be the same as the pre-production wheels. But I understand that. But the people that are getting the wheels that start production in March are going to have a lot of these issues that you see now. They're going to be addressed. They're going to be fixed.
Yeah. I guess from the point of build quality, what we've seen is the front bumper. Yeah, I guess E-Wheel will not let you hang in. They will change it for you. They will order for the 30 that are coming first now. They will probably get them from Kingsong or order them from Kingsong, so that you get provided with a good one too, the stable one. Yeah.
Right.
This new stable one. There's a video on the internet. I guess everyone has seen it. Kingsong at the company bashing it against the wall and holding up.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah, and Jack, the ex
and dropping it off
rep, is also ex rep representative of Kingsong now. Even jumped on his to make look how stable it is, and he has he's no lightweight guy too.
Right.
Yeah. So from I guess this perhaps I will then in a later batch, it's not so easy, harden the seat a bit.
Right, yeah, the seat's a little bit soft,
what
right?
A lot of people say when you brake that you go too much back. Perhaps they will change that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean, I have to say something I saw in some reviews. I found pretty much silly.
Mm-hmm.
Hi Marty, by the way.
Marty is here.
Yeah, hi Marty. I found pretty much silly. Good. Sorry. It's okay to say a screw isn't deep enough, and you can. It's really okay to say this and to point this out and to make Kingsong bring better screws when you can't. When the screw is not deep enough that you can't get enough power in it. That's totally okay. But going with a magnet over it and saying, "Oh, this is magnetic, so it's a bad screw."
Mm-hmm.
It's nickel. I don't know, nickel plated or something. It's totally fine. It's normal. You can't use Edelstahl, the non-rusting steel on every screw, you know.
But I do think I think the guy that went over the wheel. I mean, it was good that he made the point that those screws were not strong enough, because they obviously did strip.
Absolutely.
That was definitely good.
Yeah, I will really big point to him that he pointed that out, and that now the customers will get better screws which have a deeper hole and where you can get more power in, to screw them out. That's absolutely okay. But he was going over some of the screws outside and pointing out, these are not. I guess I have to search the word.
Well, he was saying that they would be good if they were stainless steel, like certain
stainless steel. My God, yeah,
stainless steel.
Right. Yeah, they're not stainless steel; they are plated. And sorry, those are pretty much the same screws that were used on the 18. And he says he has to change all of them. Sorry, I didn't have to change one of them because they were rusty. I don't know. But perhaps that's England and Germany. But we also have a lot of rain, and I drive in every winter. point I found a bit silly. And also, for changing the tire,
Yeah.
Kevin wants to go into the motor. Yeah, that's another thing. But for changing the tire, I guess there is a much more easier option which has been overlooked by a lot of people.
What's that?
Perhaps can you go on the Kingsong website
Which
and
website?
make it the Kingsong website, kingsongs20.com.
Yeah. Yeah. Hold on.
Yeah?
Yeah, I can. Okay. What am I looking for?
At the top right, you can choose. Oh, what we see there? Wait.
Let me share this window. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I can share the window though. Let's see. Share the
Yeah, that would
screen.
be nice.
Okay. So let's hide that. So up top we have
Yeah,
home
please,
specs and
features, please. Features. Go to
okay.
features. So I now go down as much as possible. More down. As much as possible.
That's all the way at the
Adjustable
bottom.
pedals. Yeah. Adjustable pedals.
Yeah.
You just see it for a moment. There are two ways to adjust pedals. I'm not, as I don't have a S20 in my hands, I'm not sure if the option they show there is still available to adjust the pedals. But
Yeah.
these 3 bolts you see there,
Yeah.
you take them out, and then after you have pulled off, you must screw off the top to pull out the motor cables and sensor wires.
Yes.
And then you just loosen these 3 bolts or 6 bolts, I guess they are on both sides.
Right.
And then you can pretty much take the complete wheel off the rails.
That's all you need to
And
take off, you think?
Absolutely.
Really? Okay.
I really think so. Because the complete suspension is on the wheel itself and on these 3 bolts. And when you get these 3 bolts, that's why you also can change the complete body height with them. Height. High.
Yeah. Huh. Okay.
Highness of the body.
Maybe,
It's a fast running GIF, man. You see, these 3 bolts, you can screw them more up or more down, and then the complete body is moving up to change your pedal heel.
Okay. Well, that would be
Pedal
interesting
highness.
if you could do it just by taking those bolts off. I mean, maybe Kevin assumed because Kevin was removing the whole battery box, so maybe you don't have to do that. I don't know.
I don't think you have to do this, really.
Okay.
But I'm sorry, I'm not totally sure, but
Okay.
I guess we will see a change tire video from Kingsong soon, showing how it's best done to change the tire.
Right.
Yeah. And to my understanding, when you pull these 3 bolts totally out, the suspension isn't. You just can pull off the complete wheels of the rail. Before, yes, you have to screw on top and loosen the motor cable. Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that makes
So
sense.
that you
Yeah.
don't rip it. But then you can just pull it off. There you have the wheel. There are still on the wheel this quadratic place, the reels which are sitting in the battery case, where it's
Right.
gliding on.
Yep.
But for a tire change, he needs to go to the motor. But for a tire change, you don't need to take this off. You still have it on your rim, but for a tire change, you don't.
Okay. Well, that's
I
true
just
because
wanted to say that.
That's true, because in that video where Kevin had all the problems with the screws, he wanted to actually take the motor out and open the motor to look inside the motor.
Yes,
So
yes, yes.
that's why he wanted to do all that. Okay, well that makes sense.
Oh, now
So
you are
that's great. I mean,
stuttering
that's
here.
great. What's that?
Sorry, can you repeat the last sentence? You were stuttering. I didn't hear anything.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I just said that if all that's needed to take the tire off is just those 6 bolts on each side, that'd be a lot easier.
That would be great. Yeah, I'm doing a little bit of assumptions, but as soon what I know, it's possible with so.
Yeah, that's cool.
And it would be logic also, because
right.
I worry about the board when, say, stopped a set of lights on the down ramp after pressing the button to cross, and you're standing on the wheel. Sorry, I don't understand.
Well, hold on. There's a part 2 to that. He's saying basically he worries about the board when you're stopped at a set of lights on a down ramp, pressing the button to cross, and you're standing on the wheel next to the pole, holding stationary, but basically in reverse. So he's saying like if you came up to an intersection, and you're waiting for the light to change.
Okay. There we are on idling, pretty much.
Yeah, basically,
talking about holding his hand to a pole and idling.
Yeah.
I already said this a lot. Idling is the worst you can do to oil in general. It's a good learning skill, yes, especially if you want to learn drive backwards. It's a good start, but I really, when you are waiting longer than, let's say, 10-15 seconds, don't idle for a minute or two. It's you can see rise up the temperature from the Mosfet to the board. You can see rise up the temperature in seconds, because that's high amperage. You are on very low volts, and you are going back and forth, and that's a lot of stress for the MOSFETs.
Right. Marty asks yeah, go ahead.
He's the engineer from E-Rides, and he's doing videos. He was doing a video series of screwing the S20, building it up and setting it up, and later going to the motor. I don't know the name of his YouTube channel, but Kevin is the name.
He works for Afees. I think it's ewheels.co.uk.
E-Rides.
Like, right.
E-Rides.
E-Rides. That's right. Yeah. So he's like their tech, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, that's his tech, exactly.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're talking about the screws again. Ratman says, I find steel screws okay if they are quality hard steel, not soft steel. With screws, you have to use the correct size screwdriver bit that actually fits the head, not just any old screwdriver head. Well, I agree.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I totally agree with Kevin with the screws. When he showed they are not deep enough and he gives too much power, that they scrap off. I'm actually totally fine with it. But some of the outside screws, which are deep enough to give power to them, just saying, "Oh, these are no stainless steel." Sorry,
yeah.
I wasn't a fan. I found this a bit of over the
top. Yeah.
Over the top. Yeah.
I think really it seemed like a lot of that problem was they used way too much thread locker on those screws. Like when you took them out, they were coated in thread locker, so it seemed like that might have just been them putting too much thread locker on them that made it very difficult to get those screws out. That's what it looked like.
Yeah.
Because he had the torch out. He was heating those like crazy and spraying them down. And
the problem was that E-Ride got, I guess, a really bad sample, because he had some clicking noises inside the motor. That's why he wants to go into the motor. Yeah.
Did they ever? I was going to say, did they ever find out what that clicking noise was? Was it the bearing or was it something else?
I don't know. Yesterday I saw a discussion on PET. PET is also an English seller, and the channel is named like this. And they've got Nathan from RevRide, and he did an explanation to the this clicking sound, but I have to say, unfortunately, I forgot.
Okay.
Sorry,
I mean, I wonder if it was something rubbing, like something rubbing inside the wheel, or if it was. I mean, that would be better than bearing.
I'm really sorry. Nathan from RevRide said they had 3 samples. 2 were totally fine, and 1 was doing this kind of clicking noise. And he gave an explanation what he thought what it was. But I'm so sorry, I forgot it. It's just sometimes too much from Oik World. You can't have everything in mind.
I understand.
From every video I see, sorry. But everyone can look after it.
Yep.
PET
so Marty's talking about idling, how idling is a great technique for rapidly heating up the wheel to test its overheat temperature. Yeah, it sure is.
That's sure, but that's right.
Yep.
But it's really giving stress on the Mosfets, and depending on what battery you have sitting behind, you even may be able, if you do it too hard, even holding to a pole and aggressively idling, back and forth, you can even pop a Mosfet. It's easy.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
normally idling, okay, just heats fast up the wheel, and Marty is right. You can check if the alarms work for over temperature. Yeah, but in general, it's not good for the Mosfet. It's exactly what I explained in the beginning. You are on low voltage but very high amperage on the motor side, and not
right, because that reversal of direction is going to spike the amps for sure.
For the question now we see now, yes, I do so. I'm not idling. I can idle, but I don't do it.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I don't idle when I'm at a intersection. I just step off.
Yeah, I can, but I don't do it. It's just I'm off. I pretty much try to save the hard parts for MOSFETs and battery and all for emergency situations. Yeah, It's not that I'm riding like 80-year-old, but I try to save the good stuff for emergency brakings and all.
Right. So Mike in Tampa, actually, I was emailing him about this a little bit, and I wanted to ask you because one of the things that you talked about earlier is how the master, the Gotway master, Bigodi master, is going to have 24 MOSFETs. The S20 the S20 has 12 MOSFETs. So do you think that with a higher voltage wheel, it would have been better for Kingsong to go with 24 MOSFETs, or do you think 12 is still okay in that configuration?
I think in this configuration, it's still okay. When you have 4 times the power, you have to see when you are really using these Litec moly cells, it's like you are using a normal, don't want to say false things. It's like using a 16P wheel,
Oh, okay. Really? Oh, because
with normal batteries.
Because those cells can deliver so much power.
Yeah. It's a 4P system on the master, and with moly cells in it, it can deliver 160 amp continuously on the battery side then, instead of Um, as far as I know, the S20 has the new LG cells in it.
Mm-hmm.
There is two different types. One is called M50T, and one is called M50LT. And the LTs have a longer lifetime, and they also are able to give 14.6 amps per cell. So yeah,
So they're higher
we are not
performance.
talking about 40 amps. We are talking about 60 amps on the S20. As far as I know, I haven't one in hand, so I try my best, but I
Well,
guess these are the new LT cells.
Okay.
From LG. And these are much better than the first version, which were used in the 900 watt packs in the Gotways. Even
Right.
Gotway now uses Samsung 50E, which isn't much better than the old LG, and the new LG is pretty good. 14.6 amps is pretty nice.
Yeah.
So for the question for Mike in Tampa, yes, I think it's sufficient because it doesn't go over 126 volt. Yeah, you are on Mosfet side. You can be on one side, so you can be lower than 126, but you can't be higher than 126. So I think yes, it's sufficient.
Okay. Oh, so the max voltage that would ever hit the MOSFETs is 126 volts.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's we always do this lift up tests, yeah.
Yeah.
Then the wheel is using 126 volts, and even
Right.
because it's not real stressed, it's no real torque needed because if you just lift it up, it's just about 2 or 3 amps or perhaps 5. On a lift test, but then 126 volts are used.
Okay. Spartacus says that Wrongway's S20 motor is clicking as well now. I had not heard that. I don't know if you did a video about that, but I did not know that his was clicking as well.
It can be possible. I heard some things. I guess the Wrongway or Adams. I have the impression that Adams' video will not be so good for the S20.
Yeah, well, I've heard a little bit of feedback from him about it, and yeah, it hasn't been positive what I heard so far.
Yeah, and I tried to send him this the offer from Kingsong where everyone can choose, and exactly said it's not perfect yet.
Yep.
Do you still want it? And so my point is everybody was knowing we are still working on some things, and
Yep. So
I just can't say the time when I was at the company, I was just volunteering, but I found them, in comparing to other brands, I found them very honest and not lying, trying the best to make the customers happy. Yes, they did some things that were not found so good in community. For example, the don't buy on AliExpress. So if you have a motor number with this and that, then you will not be able to use the app or set the speed or something. Okay, but it's business, They pretty much don't want this.
Right.
it's even now it's hard enough for every European seller. It's hard to compete against AliExpress. It's just, especially with Gotway, I don't even know how some sellers manage to do it. You know, they throw out a wheel every month. How will you get up? You put you order the Hero, and the Hero is now old bread with the Master already.
Yeah.
You know who?
Yeah.
It's I don't understand. And then you, as a reseller, ordered to make a good price. You ordered 20 or 30 wheels, and then they're sitting in your stock, and bad luck for you.
Yeah, and the Hero is not a cheap wheel. It's pretty expensive. It's more expensive than what the Master is supposed to be. Because the Master is supposed to be less than $3,000, I think, depending on the batteries that you put in it. And the Hero is, like $3,300.
Yeah. What Shane is writing, yeah, he's sure when you could and should do a pre-inspection, but you you can't check the firmware or see internals, like what can happen on the road or something,
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm just looking here.
And sure, Kingsong would let you tear it open. That's no problem.
Mm-hmm. All right, Russell, talking about the 150 volt rating of Mosfets.
What you should be asking is, why doesn't he go to know how to design a PCB that doesn't eat itself? That's a good question. I can only okay. Let's say this. I can say to eqdrift.ru. That's the Russian site. They have use Google Translator. They have a tech blog, and then look for all the board versions they've did to the Monster Pro, and probably you will never buy a Gotway again then.
Oh yeah,
because the Monster Pro was one of the first wheels where they did 18 Mosfets. Yeah, and I guess we the community were then beta testers or alpha testers because the very first versions of the board were much too weak. The buses carrying the power inside the PCB were much too thin to carry the power.
oh.
And what you have to understand is on a 24-inch wheel, what we talk about now, which is you start at 0 volt and have a very high amperage. On a bigger wheel, this amperage even gets so much higher. It's not proportional, it's over proportional. So they have to use more MOSFETs sharing the amperage. But the way they did, I can really say, go to the EcoDrift site and look all pictures they've got about the board of the Monster Pro. on one version of the board, they soldered a wire from one MOSFET to the other because the inside the PCB, the line was not big enough for transferring the power. So they really just soldered a wire on it. Yeah, really.
That was their fix?
That was Gotway's solution to the board problems. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
And yeah, I'm not lying. You can look it. You can look it over.
I've been on.
I am no fanboy. I am driving a Gotway EXN. I love it. It's a great wheel. It has a lot of power. I really love it. I'm no Kingsong fanboy. Yes, perhaps I'm a little bit biased to them. Absolutely, but not in the way of fanboys. I owned, I guess, about 12 to 13 wheels now, and it's half-half Kingsong or Gotway. Yeah, I just want to say it. So sometimes it sounds like Kingsong overall. No, that's not the case. They make faults as everybody did, but I guess they work around it better than others do.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Russell's saying here the MOSFETs run at whatever voltage they're set at. You can't even tell how much charge remaining you have by voltage. I'm not sure what he's saying there.
You can't even tell how much charge remaining you have by voltage.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Russell's saying.
No, sorry, me too.
Yeah.
The first sentence: the FETs run at whatever voltage they are set.
So, I mean, based on that, he's saying that if you had 150 volt MOSFETs and 126 volt wheel, that they would be running at 150 volts. I'm not quite sure what he's saying. I don't know.
No, that's not. And when I'm saying what I'm explaining, that the wheel starts at 0 volts and 0 amps, that's not an I think. I know it.
Mm-hmm.
I know this stuff. This stuff I know.
Right. Well, like I said, with my example of with a gas generator, how you have a startup surge voltage when something starts, it's the amp draw is significantly more when something starts moving, and I think the same thing applies to a wheel.
Yeah, exactly. Sean, you are one of the veterans in the scene too. You remember perhaps in the early days we had a lot of boards burning when they got stuck in sand just for 2 seconds or so.
Oh yeah, the M Supers all the time. That used to happen to the M Supers.
Yeah, exactly, and that was exactly the reason is at that time of events. I guess we are talking 6 years ago. M Super, the companies didn't know so good how to handle a starting wheel, because when you really are at no speed, the amperage can really get, as I said, even to more than 500 amps on the motor side.
Right.
Yeah, and that makes that pop the Mosfets very easily. You can in the early days you just have to push your wheel against a wall just for a short moment, push it against it, and it makes pop, and your board is gone.
Yeah,
and
no, I remember that for sure.
Or you get stuck in sand and pop. Oh, sorry, new board.
I remember. I remember Ian Speedfeet did
yes,
that. He
exactly.
Yeah.
His videos were a best example. And he wasn't even really stuck in sand, and it popped. And
So Marty says that he's ridden the S20 in a lot of mountains and mountain trails. It was great. Can't wait to get my personal copy.
I would also I guess Marty, that was with the EVs guys, and I have to say I love their series of their tour, where they let a lot of people ride, and yeah.
Marty says that Yuko is sending him one next week. Sending you what?
Oh,
S20?
great! You are so lucky. Cool. Yeah. Lucky guy, really.
Everyone sends Marty wheels.
Yeah. And there were some questions about the shock system of the S20. It's no first it's a feather suspension, and it's not air suspension, it's oil. Yeah.
Yeah,
Inside the chamber,
like
there's
right. I've heard like 3 or 4
uh,
different guys say that it was a gas or an air suspension, and it's actually an oil shock. It's not
yeah,
air.
it's an oil shock. Exactly. It's not gas, it's not air, it's an oil.
Mm-hmm.
Gas or air would be going away over time. It's so flüchtig, easy to let it out. Then also some guys said, "Oh, that's a so cheap shock system," and there you can only also say, yeah, compare this to the Gotway one or what they deliver on their wheels. Um, Marty writes, "The hero is great." I can think so. Yeah.
The Hero seems okay to me. I mean, it's. I know when Marty was going up Overheat Hill, it was squeaking and creaking like crazy. The suspension sounded terrible, and I know that
Yeah.
the shock in the S20 has no dampening. It's a one-way shock. It doesn't have any dampening, but I mean the Hero seems like a decent wheel. I just think it's a little expensive for what you get.
The S20, you can set the shock harder or weaker, yeah,
Right.
and then
Yep.
you can adjust the rebound, and the feather needs some time to get worked in, yeah. And if you're a really lightweight guy, you can also change the feather. In the feather they're using now is a 750 lbs,
I heard that. Yeah.
and that there are
Spring.
also 1000 lbs for much heavier guys available, and also 500 lbs for lighter guys if they found it too hard, the feathering. You can get another spring for this. That's very easy and
Right.
not even much expensive.
Mm-hmm. So this is one of the negatives that I've heard on the S20, specifically when Ian, Speedy Feet Ian did his range test. He did it 2 times, and he only got like in the mid to upper 20s range. But other
Yeah,
people said that they've gotten like 50 miles plus. So there's a lot of people that are like, oh wow, this wheel gets no range.
yeah. Ian was one test. He made 2 or 3 range tests, and they were all in the high 20s. I guess 28
Yeah.
to 30, about that
Yeah.
miles. But he also said he was hammering the wheel like crazy, not his normal speeds, always driving faster than 35 mph or so.
Mm-hmm.
He even said it. He always, on every wheel, tries to get the minimum range. And
Yeah.
you can even see his Sherman test. He's about half what other gets.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the range test on Ref Rides with a 220-pound guy and a 180-pound guy. It was 57 miles and 64 for the lighter guy. I saw other range tests that were also in the 50s. I guess Marty made with the EVs guys also a mountain run. Yeah, that charged about 20%, but it was a mountain run up. Yeah, and in the end, they got to 67 miles with about 20% charging in between. I don't think it's. I would guess it's a 50 miles wheels.
That's what
Would
I'm
be my
hoping.
guess.
I'm looking forward to testing it in my environment, but
Yeah,
I'm hoping I can get 50 miles out of it.
I would say like you are driving, you are not hammering it or doing have much hills. I would say you will get 50 miles easy.
The
Do you
one thing
know
I
when you
what's that?
do you know when you get yours?
I haven't got any update from eWheels, so no, I don't know. I mean, it was supposed to be in March sometime, but I've not heard anything beyond that. But what I was going to say was, I noticed with Ian's tests, it seems like he's only at like 18 or 19%, and it goes into like full tilt back mode, where it's like basically unrideable. I'm curious why it's doing that to him. I didn't understand that.
On the latest firmware, there were differences in what the app is saying and what the wheel is saying, and also there's the app soft tuner. Yeah, they are not.
I have that.
The working on the app takes the longest, and they already corrected the sign, the display. So when it's empty, it's not showing two lines anymore. When it's empty, it's really empty. They changed that. They are still working on it.
Okay.
And I guess until we have it in the customer app, that is also a kind of smart BMS. You can see over soft tuner, you can already see each cell compounds to be correctly. So yeah, great.
I think
did it.
It's the first wheel. It's the first wheel you can actually see the individual cells, right?
Yeah, there were some Ninebots where you can see it, but you can't do anything about it. I have to say, a real smart BMS, a real good smart BMS, can do a lot more things. You can program about 15 different alarms. You can personally set when balancing will begin, if it's balancing all the time, or just when you are charging. You can do so much things with a real smart BMS. I don't. That's now. I don't think Kingsong has gone this far. It's starting smart BMS, but not like the ones you can buy out there, which have several different alarms and so. But that's just a guess. Perhaps I'm wrong.
Right.
But then, if I'm wrong, they have to do a lot of software work. But up to now, I only see the cells, and you can do so much with smart BMS, a real smart BMS. And for a real smart BMS, I'm also missing some cables right now.
Oh, really?
You understand? From battery to motherboard, but maybe it's just an assumption. It can also be that the smart BMS is going out by Bluetooth to the soft tuner app.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Normally, smart BMSs that you can buy for your own battery setups, they have a own Bluetooth low energy connection, and you communicate with the BMS by Bluetooth.
Okay. Cool.
And as there are so less cables, not much cables from the battery to the motherboard, perhaps it's a Bluetooth, and then we can be happy to see a lot of progress in the future with the BMS.
Sure. Yeah, I'm
with
sure
the
it's going to get better.
BMS and with the firmware. That's really Kingsong is very good in this.
Well, I think just in the short time that these pre-production S20s have been out, I think they've released 4 or 5 firmware revisions already. I mean, they really are changing it quite a bit.
Yeah,
as time goes on.
Yeah, they're always a bit late with the firmware. I say I'm not saying they're perfect. Really, they're not. It's actually hard to believe that they are still working on the firmware when already with pre-productions out. Yeah, and but that's how it is. They had, I know from some insights, they had a lot of problems with the 30 serial BMS and making it smart. That's a lot of the reason why it got delayed so long.
Okay.
Weren't the parts so much to be produced. It was the BMS working, and so now we see on the soft tuner we only see the first version, and if it's really Bluetooth connected to the soft tuner app, we really can be looking into a bright future of having a really nice smart BMS. Firstly, on our UC, great.
Yeah, that'd be great. Nelson asks, I have a question. Where the hell is Inmotion? What else is coming out of them? The V12 is not that big of a seller. Well, the V13, obviously. Yeah, I mean, you guys all saw it when I mean that announcement that supposedly Inmotion is going to be making the fastest production wheel ever, which with suspension. But I mean, after that big announcement, I have not heard anything further. I have no idea when they're planning to do that. I have not heard any more details about what they're doing. But I mean, I'm curious for sure. Have you heard anything else about that at all off the V13?
No, sorry. Sorry, nothing. Really nothing.
Yeah, me either.
And the V12, you own a V12, or?
Yeah, I just wrote it tonight. Actually, yeah, it was great.
Yeah, you did the Mosfet test.
Well, I did, but yeah, I did. But some people said I didn't do it violently enough. I didn't do it hard enough, but it was fine, and I've never had an issue. You know, I probably have, I don't know, maybe 400 or 500 miles of mine, and mine's been fine. But I heard that Inmotion supposedly is going to replace all of the system boards. That's what I heard.
Oh, that would be great. Really, it's the absolute first that I heard a company saying to their customers or resellers, "Yeah, you just solder in 2 new Mosfets." Oh, come on.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah. Anyone that would do that is crazy.
Soldering on the board is a no-go. Absolutely. No. It's only for absolute experts and in the early days you could send, when you have a defect board as seller, you can send it back to Kingsong and they repair it if it's repairable, or send you a new one if it's in warranty time. Yeah, but they never expected you to solder on a board.
No, that would be a pretty bad.
Especially not Mosfet. Also, I don't get the reason. You know, you destroy 2 Mosfets and then you solder in the same type Mosfet again. What? What? Please.
Yeah.
Were parts of these Mosfets they bought so bad that
I don't know, but I'm curious. I'm curious if Inmotion actually will. I mean, that's a huge project for them to do that, and a huge expense. Hopefully, they follow through on it, but I can't imagine how much money that's going to cost them to do that. A ton.
A ton, yes. Heads up if they really do it. That is the first in EUC community. It's doing it completely for all wheels. No company has ever done anything like this.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
It would be amazing. Let's see. Let's see if they do it for all or just for those who had problems and the defect one.
Right. If Marty says that you are a Kingsong fanboy.
Not more than you are a Gotway fanboy, Marty.
That's a good point.
I exactly said, yes, perhaps I am biased. I am biased to Kingsong, yes. I think they do more quality, and I guess Marty can acknowledge this all time, that they have a much better quality than any Gotway wheel. But I'm no Gotway hater. Yes, I drive them myself. I love them, really.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't understand some things they do, you know?
Yep. Here's a good question for you, Alf. Maybe you can answer that. How did Veteran create the Sherman Max with same top speed as the original and boosted torque without changing the voltage?
To my knowledge, the Sherman Max also has a new motor. Yeah, a motor can change the complete behavior of a wheel. And depending on how much windings you have in there and magnets and how many magnets are in one complex, it can be, even if it's same size, it can be a totally different motor. So it's possible. Also can be firmware change, which I don't think it will be when a new motor.
Well, I guess people.
I'm not sure. Aren't they using the same motor they are using now on the Abrams? They put on the Max.
I'm not sure about that because I mean people are used to because Gotway's gotten people into the habit of and now Inmotion of having a high torque or a high speed version of a wheel or high torque or high speed motor. And usually when you have a higher torque motor, it's lower speed. But I guess I didn't see what the Sherman Max top speed is, but I guess he's saying that supposedly the top speed on the Sherman Max is the same as the regular Sherman, which I had not heard that.
But it's possible.
Okay.
You see, even the Ninebot Z10 with its low voltage.
Yeah.
You can create, it has a free run speed of really fast, I guess, 85 or something, 85 kilometers.
I've never done a lift test on my Z10.
Yeah, but you know there are Russian firmwares that can boost up the speed. Yeah, so
up to 35.
Everything is possible with firmware and other motors.
Yeah. Well, that's true because I mean the top speed on a Z10 from the factory is 28 miles an hour, and if you apply that, it's just different firmware. You can go 35. I believe is the top speed is opened up to.
Yeah.
So yeah, firmware makes a big difference.
Oh no, it was 40 or 40.
40?
40 kilometers.
No,
sorry. 40,
it was
45.
It was 35 miles. It was 35 miles an hour. I think like 55 kilometers an hour, maybe something like that.
When you boost it up, yes.
Yeah. Yep.
When you boost it up with the Russian firmware, yeah. You're right. Sorry. Yeah.
And I was going to get that. But like the only payment that he took was Bitcoin. I'm like, it's too much of a pain. So I
oh my God. Really? Bitcoin? Oh.
Yeah, only Bitcoin. So Nelson says asking about the shock. Could you change the oil, put thinner oil in colder weather, changing the weight of the oil? It kind of looked like it was a closed system to me. I don't really know the answer to that.
Yeah, that's actually there are on YouTube. You can find videos where you can easily add up to the chamber, the chamber that's sitting on top. You can add a valve and also make it half oil, half air pressure. So you can also.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it's not hard to do. So you can tune up this shock a bit.
Oh,
if
okay.
That answers Nelson's question. You can open it. You can open it.
Mm-hmm.
Look for the name. It's DNM burner 2RS or so.
Yeah, I looked it up somewhere. Okay, but I didn't know that you could do that kind of modification to it.
Yeah, you can. I was surprised too.
Yeah. Okay. So Marty said,
there I learned that it's an oil shock and not air. I was wondering, air is didn't stay that much time. It's
air leaks.
air leaks. It's so easy and
right.
Yeah,
Yep.
and under the chamber, it's very easy to add a valve, about the same as you see on the S18, and then you can, by pumping pressure in it, you can also adjust
Okay.
the hardness of the shock and anything. Very cool.
So Marty says, I don't care what anyone says. The S20 shock provides a stiffer ride than the Hero or S18. Not good or bad, just a fact. I have heard that myself. I've heard that myself as well. So I don't think that's.
I actually can exactly believe that for Marty. Marty is pretty lightweight. The 750-pound feather might be too hard for you. Yeah, can be. If you have get your own one or get the one from Yuko, at first take the feather as far out as possible.
Yep.
You can even adjust the feather. You can make it harder or stiffer. If you screw it together,
you basically just change that washer, right? You back it out to decompress the shock.
So I wouldn't do that when Marty says it's feeling too stiff. Then leave it the most open, and probably, I don't know if you get a new one from Yuko or a used one. It really needs some time to get riding in this stock.
Okay.
He's speaking from over the Euro.
Yes, because that overheat hill, that overheat hill test, it was squeaking and creaking like crazy.
That was squeaky, yeah.
Very squeaky, yes. All right. Well, I'm glad he oiled the components. But I mean, to me, the biggest reason that that the shock on the Hero is not good is because Alien Ride sells. You can spend $400 to get an actual good shock put on the Hero. So I think the suspension of the Hero is not all that great. But I don't know. I guess it's softer than the S20, but it's not a good shock for sure.
Yeah, and I know at least in the first versions of Hero there was nothing adjustable, nothing.
So Marty says he's going to be doing range test.
Reference range test, yeah.
Well, because Marty normally gets the most range of anybody, so it's going to be interesting to see what Marty versus Ian.
For sure. And I also don't believe it has a bad range. Really, Ian's tests are in the very cold. He said he actually said he hammered it. He hammered every wheel on the range test. And he even says it in his videos. I will try to give you the minimum what you get. Yeah, look other videos, he said, what other people get with other kind of driving. There are so much components into how much the range is.
Ratman's talking about
temperature, weight.
Yeah. Ratman's talking about how Kingsong rates the range at 200 kilometers. Well, that's been going on forever.
It's a joke. It's a joke. Yeah. You probably get this under laboratory conditions. If you send a rider 60 kilogram riding about 15
slow.
miles per hour,
right,
and not braking at all, riding all the time, then you can get it.
Yeah, but Ratman, I don't have, or Murray, I don't have a good answer as far as why they continue to do that. But they all do it. I mean, they all post these numbers that are not real world numbers. Like nobody will actually get that range, but they all do that. I don't really know why they do that.
I would say, depending on weight, normally you have I can't say it for miles, sorry, but from my experience, you have about 20 watt hours up to 30 watt hours for 1 kilometer. So for the S20, this would mean 80 kilometers, about 50 miles. Yeah,
Right.
makes sense.
Yep. Marty is hoping to get 70 miles with his range test.
Perhaps, yeah, think so.
Yep.
It's all depending so much on speed and skills and what you do, and it's really great. Marty is always doing the exactly same route. So
The same route, the same route, and the same speed. Pretty much, he usually keeps it like around 18 to 20. So
yeah, that's a fair test. Yeah.
Yep.
So when you do this with every wheel, then you have Marty's number. When you are much heavier, you can't have that for you.
right.
Just saying. Yeah? Range
Yep.
tests are.
Okay, so
Speaking about it,
someone's asking, what's the most expensive component you see companies are skipping to save cost?
Ooh. Most expensive they're skipping.
Well, where are they cutting corners? Like, I don't know.
Seeing the prices we have today, I don't think they skip anything. Yeah, really. Looking at the S20, they designed a new rim, a new motor, a new battery, a new board.
Oh, well, yeah. Hey, let me just ask you something, because there was a video that was posted recently where they said that they thought that the S20 board was basically the S18 board with a few modifications. Do you think that's true?
I can only laugh at that. Yeah,
yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I thought that was interesting. Yeah. Okay.
It's
Just want to make sure.
perhaps looking about the same, as it's the same design. Yeah, board on top and without a fan. And
Okay.
as we see on Overheat Hill, still running pretty cool. And no, but you need other electric components. You need another capacitor with higher voltage. And just the same. Nah.
Yeah, I thought
Depends on what do you mean as same? Yeah.
I thought it was a strange thing to say, but I did hear that.
I would like to say actually Kingsong is doing own board for every of their wheels because they produce them themselves.
Right.
You see, Gotway always uses the same kind. Now they've got better boards. As very early, yeah. But they're always the same time. And on the Kingsong, that's different. You have a different board for the 16H, a different board for the 18XL, even for the 16XS.
Right.
They made a coast cut, for example, because it only has 6 Mosfets to 16XS. Not 12.
The 16X only has 6 Mosfets?
Yes. It's a smaller board. Yeah.
That's interesting because the 16X actually performs quite well power wise. That's
yeah. But as you just have half a battery now, you don't need 12 Mosfets. Perhaps, I remember from the release of 18L and 18XL that it was pretty much the first time when Kingsong used 12 Mosfet. Because before it just wasn't necessary. The 6 were still enough. But as soon as they started to get 6P systems, they needed the 12.
Okay.
Yeah? So for the 16XS, you can say that's the cost measurement. I don't know. Cutting cost to the question. Yeah. I don't know. You can say, all those plastic parts still, but it's also a question of weight. Or once, I guess our wheels are already heavy. How much do you want to add up to this? And I have no real answer, good answer for this. Where they cut costs. I know other companies cut costs because you see, on Kingsong, own board for every wheel. For every wheel, different battery. You can't use a 16X battery on a 18XL. It's a different form factor. They designed the wheel and the battery especially for it. That's not cutting cost. Using all over all wheels, always the same. I would say this is doing it a kind of modular way and probably cheaper. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. Shane asked me if I preferred the V11 or the V12 for a street ride. It's funny. I mean, if I could only have one, I prefer the V11 because suspension is good for me. But I was just out prior to the live stream. I actually took the V12 out. I was riding around the Naples area. I had a great time. I mean, the V12 is so it's fast. It's maneuverable. I had a great time in the V12. I love the tech. It's faster than the V11, obviously. But the suspension definitely does help me. So they're both really, really fun wheels. I like them both.
I would really be interested in the coming V12 high torque.
Yeah.
Yeah. To my understanding, finally they used the big Mosfet.
Right.
On the high torque, and that's one of the reasons why they can give more power. And I guess I would be really interested to ride it to see how powerful it is. For
that high torque model looks great.
Wheel.
Yeah, it looks great. The high torque model of the V12 should be really, really good. I'm hoping that now that they switched to the bigger MOSFETs for the high torque, that they'll just stick with them with all their models that are coming out afterwards.
Yeah. But first, I think I have to invest the money for an S20.
Yeah, me too. I didn't pay for all of my S20 yet, so I need to. I'm going to have to do that soon. So yeah, I've heard Marty say this before. He says that Inmotion will always be for beginner, intermediate riders. That's their market. Retailers hate Inmotion because of their poor support.
The second, the last sentence is absolutely correct. Inmotion is one of the worst suppliers you can ever imagine. If you are reselling Inmotion, you get crazy. They just ignore you as a reseller.
Wow.
You're asking for parts and your customers are waiting for, and they just ignore you, or it will take a long time until you even get them, and it's really, really bad.
But that
This
seems
beginner intermediate rider, I would say this was true till now. The V12 is, and especially V12 high torque. I don't know if you can call this beginner intermediate wheels anymore. But you're probably, that's their market. That's true also. Yeah, they are not especially going out to compete with Gotway. Yeah. Seems with a V13 now they try, but we will see.
Right. Doesn't Inmotion though sell more wheels than anybody? Right. They sell more wheels than anybody.
I don't know.
I thought I
really
heard
don't
that.
know.
I heard that they sold the most, but it's weird to me that they sell the most, but their support is so bad. I don't really understand how those two things could be the same.
Yeah, it could be they sell the most, but it's a really different market. These are not. If you see group ride photos from Mardi, they are 89% Gotway riders. Yeah.
Right.
Perhaps now in the future you see 20% S20 riders or so.
Right.
Yeah, but you never see an Inmotion V12 going with them. It's a totally different customer kind, mostly, yeah, and which are not on the forum or on the Facebook groups. They just ride their wheel, be happy at home, charge it, ride, and yeah.
Right. So Marty's saying that I'm a Gotway hater. I do still have a Gotway, Marty. I do have my M10-3, so I do have one. But it's funny. I had an email exchange with Mike from Tampa today because Mike from Tampa was going to buy. He had a deposit on an S20, and he decided to change it to the Hero. He's buying a Hero from Alien Rides, and then once the Master is available, he's going to get rid of his Hero and get a Master. And
did anybody know when the Master is coming to the real world, North America?
He was told. Mike was told June, I believe, for the Master.
Okay, then I would add 2 months.
Right? Yeah, probably. Yeah, because shipping is just so terribly slow now. But anyway, that's what he's doing. He bought a Hero for now, and then once the Master's available, he's going to sell his Hero and he's going to get a Master. So, but we haven't really even talked about this. So the Master. What are your thoughts about the Master, Alpha? Like, do you think the Master? Spec wise, to me, it sounds pretty great, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No point. Really, it sounds great. And as I said, now with the light tech battery options, the 24 Mosfet makes sense. I'm a little bit afraid of, as it's with 24 Mosfet, it's a totally new board, and I'm really afraid of it. As I've seen the Monster Pro disaster, and really go to Egypt and look for yourself, and you think your eyes are not correct or something.
Right.
So that's where I'm a little bit afraid of. Totally new board for Gotway, but really with the I don't need a range of 50, 60 miles. I'm happy with 50 kilometers that are about 30 miles. And and so with the Molly cell, this would be, and if the board is okay, it would probably first be one of the safest, seeing cutout wise, because it has so much power available. Yeah, it's a great wheel.
Yeah, I mean,
what I'm not so much into the suspension of the Hero and the Master. It's only sitting on one rod, and I really would like to see how this holds on in the long time. And when you get chibi time,
yeah.
What's his new wheel name? You know who I mean? With chibi. When I say chibi, the jumper.
Yeah. Yes. No. Oh my God. But yeah, no. Yes, I know. Why am I forgetting his name?
You know who I mean? Okay.
Yes.
I guess his Shibi Time is his Instagram name. Shibi Time also.
Isn't it Mike?
Shibi.
Is his first name Mike?
Yes. No, Mike.
I don't know. So someone will remind us.
Yeah.
But I mean, there is a difference, because from what I understand, the Hero has a shock with no dampening, which makes it kind of like a little bit pogo sticky. But supposedly the suspension on the Master has dampening. Whatever they're using on the Master supposedly does have dampening, so it should actually be slightly better than the Hero.
Yeah, but that's not the point. What I am afraid of. It's just DS18 was on 2 rods each side gliding.
Right.
Even there, you have some problems that the complete thing will get twisted. Thank you. Twisted a bit, and then not working correctly anymore. And with the one rod, I will see how it works over a long time. But other than that, looks like a great wheel. No question.
Yeah, I mean, especially like on a mostly hard surface, like a road riding, I think it would be probably really good, but we'll see. So Nelson's asking about the tilt back at 20% levels, and that's what I asked. But I assume that's going to be something that's going to be tweaked with firmware.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
will be tweaked.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry. That's this 20% was shown when you mean the same as on the display, and the display wasn't showing correctly the voltage. The voltage was at 0%, and so the tilt rate was correct, but just the image on the display on the wheel wasn't correctly adjusted. It's just a little bit of firmware tweaking and BMS tweaking to get this all correct.
Yep. So Marty says his riding weight is 195 pounds. What the heck, Marty? Did you gain some COVID weight? I thought you were less than that. But of course, Marty does gear up a lot, so maybe his gear weighs a lot of.
Okay, not super lightweight. He's right, but I won't. My kilograms I won't name in pounds. Then you know what is a non-lightweight rider I won't do.
Yeah. Before the stream started, Ulf said that he's gained some COVID weight, like a lot of people. So
not really not.
So Nelson says having air mixed with oil in a single chamber is not a good thing. Either all air or all oil, but I would prefer oil over air.
Yeah, I'm no specialist. Please look the YouTube videos about changing especially this shock to perhaps it's a complete change to an air shock. I don't know.
Right.
Wasn't so sure. I just know it wasn't that hard to do.
Yeah, that's good to know. So Marty says, on paper, the Hero shock is not great, but as someone who has 200 miles on it, the shock feels great to me. Well, that's good.
Marty, I totally believe you. It's just the mechanical working, even not of the back part of the shock, but how the pedal is done to the rod of the suspension. It doesn't look that.
It doesn't look as strong, I guess.
Doesn't look that strong, really. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So Lemony Snicket says that, if you mentioned this earlier, how you can change the spring on that shock. So if you change to a 500-pound spring, it would soften up the ride quite a bit, I'm sure.
Really soften up the ride, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Some were even before saying, "Oh, they're only using the 750-pound coil, and they should use the 1,000." But you see, the normal rider already says feeling harder than the S18. So the 1,000, I think, would be. Okay. Depends on your weight. Perhaps you need some.
So Ryan asked, how much do alternate springs cost? I don't know. Maybe somebody knows.
Oh.
So maybe someone can answer that in chat. I'm going to be right back, Ulf. I got to run to the bathroom really quick.
Yeah, do this. So we won't have any other questions also, as long as he isn't here. By the way, it's 8 now. It's 10:20 now in the morning here in Thailand. Sunny and just water, no beer. Too many Millers, I guess, for Sean. And too many cigarettes for me.
Oh, that's much better. Much better. Okay. Much better. Yeah, I don't know
how many beers you have?
I'm working on my 4th one right now.
Okay, fine.
I don't know if I made this clear at the beginning of the stream, but Ulf is actually 12 hours ahead of me in Thailand. So it's morning time in Thailand, and it's 10:26 at night for me. So
it's funny. I just said that while you were gone. I said
you did?
It's
okay.
10:20 in the morning, and sunny, and
I must
drinking water.
I must be
beer. Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's see. Ratman says Kingsong needs to change the advertised specs because here in Australia, our consumer laws will entitle any S20 buyer who can't get reasonable kilometers as advertised. It can be returned as not fit for purpose.
Oh God, yeah.
Really?
Then any UC, any scooter,
you can return any of them then, right?
Any electrical vehicle can be returned.
Yeah, wow.
When you read in the specs, mostly Gotway says when it's telling its range, they say this is with a 70 kilo rider riding 20 kilometers per hour constantly. Yeah, and then you get that lot of range.
Right.
Then you need only about 250 watts or 300 watts all the time, and then the wheel runs that long.
Right.
So it's not light. There are so much factors for range.
Mm-hmm. So Murray says that he thinks that most of the pre-orders for the S20s in Australia will be returned once they can't go over 25 miles without charging.
I don't know how he gets to this 25 miles.
Well, he's basing it on Ian's range test.
Yeah, don't look only Ian. There were about 6 or 7 other range tests who were all far over 50 miles, even over 60 miles. Especially on group rides. That's nothing like what Ian is doing. He's hammering it through the forest. Yeah.
Yep. So George, I guess, says that shock that they have in the S20 costs $56 on Amazon. So just the spring alone, he guesses it should be less.
What? $56 on Amazon?
That's what he said. Yeah, I haven't looked it up myself.
I would guess that's.
It sounds low.
No, that's not the correct one. It's a burner 2 RCS. Normally, the costs here in Germany, and we are not that much more expensive, are about $120.
What's the model number? I can look it up quick.
I think search for DNM burner.
Burner, you said, like BURNER?
Burner, like burning.
Okay.
BURNER.
I see several of them.
Yeah, first of all, you have to find a 240 millimeter long.
Okay, I see 265. I see the 265. Let's see. So it's 240. Is that what you said, Ulf? It's 240 millimeters?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, that's not. I don't see it on Amazon, but I see some of different sizes.
There are because there are some that don't have the chamber on top.
Right. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, the
oil chamber, and that are pretty cheap. But with the oil chamber and everything, it's normally above 100.
Like I see one that looks similar.
4.
Wow.
Can also have a red, not timber, feather. Some are sold with red feather.
I'm looking at this one, but that's not quite it, because that's 265 millimeters, and there's no price on it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's it. DNM.
All right. So this one, they're saying $269.
That would fit more.
Mm-hmm.
It's $65 is not possible. Sorry.
Yeah. Interesting.
Even on AliExpress or so, you are in the $90 range or $100 range. Alibaba, I mean.
Well, if George wants to send me a link, I'll check it out. But
yeah, sure. But I know, because I had the discussion with someone else, that they could use a better shot, and I was asking what he expects. It's already over €100 shot, and he said, they should even use a €200 shot. Yeah, come on, it has to stay reasonable. Yeah.
So EUC Vibe. See, I didn't see any of Wrongway's videos on the S20 yet, so I didn't see it. But he said his last video is making him want to email Jason and change his deposit.
Yeah. Then perhaps someone gets his earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You always should look more than one review, really.
Yep. Marty says, buy the Master instead. Of course, Wrongway is a Gotway hater now. I don't know that he's a Gotway hater.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah. He just
Really
pointed out some of the stuff that, because I know that Adam talked to you a lot about some of those battery videos that he did, right, Ulf? Like you guys had some conversations.
Actually, really, even I found out some things about the 900 watt packs that I didn't know before, which really shocked me. It's
Really?
yeah, it's you can't even call it BMS what they were doing.
Yeah. Wow.
It's it's balancing. That's it. It's not short protected at all.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know, each normal BMS on Inmotion, Kingsong, and all, you have the plus and the minus line, and um, the BMS is sitting between the plus and the minus, and so one of the lines which goes out to the wheel is going completely through the BMS. So if something's wrong with the battery, it can be stopped. But on the 900 watt packs on Gotway, there was no line going through the BMS. The
Oh, really?
battery directly was connected to the wheel in case of any short, which you can have when a Mosfet pops, you have a burning wheel. And
Yeah.
it's not short protected at all, and it really this really was a good video series of Adam, but that doesn't make him a Godway hater. You
Mm-hmm.
will see now on I guess on his Kingsong review, because what I hear from him now, he I will guess it will not be the nicest review.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I haven't seen that video, so I'm not sure.
And like I said, I think he said it before in one of his videos, where he says what we want from oil companies, and he predominantly said for the S20, they were sent out and there were 2 cutouts already. How can they send this out? And
Right.
everyone was warned. It's a sample. It's a pre-order. We try to make it as good as possible, but it's not perfect yet.
Right.
How more clear can you be?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I
and
understand.
they're pumping out firmware after firmware. I guess 3 firmwares and 2 BMS after updates already, and this will change.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, the behavior that some say on the first 3 meters, that's electrical. Sorry, it's electrical nonsense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's. I mean, I've heard that repeatedly. That, and I mean, I've even heard that from Vicky from Kingsong, saying that I guess that at least right now that there's some sort of limiting that happens the first 3 meters of a hard acceleration. After that, you can do whatever you want.
You you know, it might be that in the firmware they twisted some things, but normally it's not even possible. Some some just think, well, what an old motherboard is doing is big science, but uh, in general, the only thing that's happening is um, it's trying to stay your pedals flat. That's all the wheel is doing.
Yep.
There's nothing more. When you lean forward, it tries to still have the pedals flat by speeding up, and that's how braking works. The same,
Right.
and nothing more is happening, and that's also why it's not possible to when you are near a high speed cutout, yeah, to make the wheel go slower while you were leaning in. That's just not possible.
Uh-huh.
On a balance, on every balancer, it's not possible. You can warn by tilt brake, by vibrations, by beeps, by whatever, but you cannot ignore what the rider is doing. If he leans forward, the wheel must go faster, because otherwise the pedals would dip.
Right.
Yeah, and also how should the wheel know your intentions? Yeah, um, on some kind of speed. If you want to brake or not, because what most people want when they face, uh, they don't want the wheel to speed up anymore. But that's the same as braking, and the wheel cannot know the intentions of the rider.
Right.
It's hard to explain. On a balancer, it's like this. Someone pushes forward, the wheel has to run. And that's why high-speed cutouts happen. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I've only
they must happen.
Mhm.
It's
I only heard of one high-speed cutout. I think it was a guy in France, I believe, and from what I understand, it was due to rider. I mean, it was a rider, like you explained, like he was already going at a fast speed, and he tried to accelerate hard at a fast speed, and it cut out. That's the understanding that I have.
I don't know the exact circumstances when you are at already at the limit, then push hard. You can have a good voltage check, and then perhaps you are at the high-speed cutout level, because
Right.
voltage defines the max speed, and if you need more voltage than you have available, the wheel cuts out. That balances.
hmm I don't know if you see this question here. It's posted off.
Oh yeah, that's it's a misunderstanding that the S20 is all sensorless. It has all sensors. The thing is, when one fails, then the board logics can assume where the magnets are standing, and you can still ride out and ride on without falling. But you will get an alarm, and you have to get the whole sensor changed.
Oh,
It's not sensorless. Yeah,
okay.
it's an absolute it's progress, because before, on every other wheel you would have a face plant directly. If the whole sensor fails completely, then one motor phase is missing, and the board doesn't know anymore where the magnets are standing, what to do with speeding up or speeding down. Yeah,
Right.
it's progress. And before, they already had in the app diagnose, which can say if the call sensors are okay or not. But now they are even a step further. Yeah, and the wheel can keep on running, not for a long time. Yeah, I think you will get an alarm, and you can stop, and then you have to repair it. Yeah,
Okay.
but also to say, Hall sensors are one of the less faults you would have normally.
Okay.
If we want to speak a bit more about battery, um, for the S20 now, I guess they are back to a better, in general, better battery system. On the S18, um, you know, each pack was one serial 20 cells on the left, on the right, and two 10 cells behind.
Yeah.
But you can say each of them standalone. And that means in one of those three three packs. I call them three packs. The two in the back are one. Yeah. If one cell is failing, that means the total battery system will not load any more up than it will not load up to 84 volts. It will load up to only 80 because this one cell defines the maximum for all. And now having on each side a 2P system is much better. So we have two batteries always parallel connected, and then they were serial.
Right.
So if in this compound of two cells, one is failing, that doesn't matter at all first. Probably in the smart PMS, when you look on it while riding, you can see that this cell component is dropping a bit more because only one cell is taking over the work from two. Yeah.
Right.
You understand? You understand where I'm going? Is it?
Yeah. No, I understand.
Understandable. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, just because of my English out, and yeah, it's generally better. And then I have heard some kind of it's the same bad battery as in the S18. No, it's not. It's totally different. And then some people are saying the batteries are vertical and not horizontal, and that makes them give less power. Yes.
What?
Sorry. Yeah, really. Really.
That's funny.
I've seen that in some tests saying vertical battery systems are not so good because they're giving less power. And
that's a new one for me.
You can think
I've not heard that.
I don't want to be harsh, but that's nonsense. Yeah. Then there was also pointing out that the nickel strips are fixing on the new S20. And then I received a photo of the nickel strip going on the board and being spot welded. And the critique was, that's spot welded, that's not good.
Oh, yeah?
And yeah, but the thing is, that's not even the power line. That's just the balancing line, you know? When I built my own battery pack, I used 1.2 millimeter nickel strips for the power connection.
Yeah.
And about, I don't know, 0.5 millimeter for the balancing strip because there is no power going through it.
Right.
Maximum half an amp just for balancing, you know?
Right.
So this critique was also a little bit not wrong, but not correct.
Right. No, I understand.
So, but the best point was, Gotway has vertical, vertical battery, and Kingsong is its configuration is horizontal.
Right. Yeah,
horizontal
funny.
on the Gotway and vertical on the S20. And sorry, that's I don't know where this rumors get from. Yeah, Mike Leahy. Yeah, exactly, Mike Leahy. It's CB time, I guess. Yeah.
That's the name. I'm trying
to. I'd like to see him jumping on the Hero or the Master, and how it holds up doing this.
Right.
In 1 month this riding style.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But also, for the S20. That's the
Well,
stress test you can have for the.
Yeah, I mean, he did jump the S20 a little bit, and it seemed like he at least initially he liked it. So
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
yep.
And he got a brand new. Saw the video from Ref Rides, I guess.
Yep.
Where he and Kelly were invited, and then tested it out. That was a great video.
Right. Yeah, no, it was.
Yeah, liked it a lot.
We're way behind on the chats here, so I'm just scrolling through the chat to pick out a couple things.
Yes, please.
Hate Mail says, "Are the S20 BMS stats available for the rider to view on the Kingsong app?" The answer is no, right?
Not yet.
Mm-hmm.
Not yet. They are available on the so-called. No, I forgot the name. Help me out, please.
For the soft tuner
app.
Soft tuner
app.
Yep.
To my knowledge, I'm an iOS guy. I don't know if the soft tuner app is available on Android. I don't know it.
I think it's only Android, right?
No. Soft tuner is
It's
iOS.
It's Apple. Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah, it was definitely a time long. It was only Apple. I don't know if they have changed it, and it's now Android also.
Okay.
And in former times, 4 or 5 years ago, the soft tuner app was a kind of secret engineering app in former times. But now everyone can download it, and you can have a guest entrance into this app and do some more things on firmware updating. You can even downgrade firmware, and there you can now see the BMS stats and all the cells. As said, the Kingsong app is always lagging behind because Kingsong is not producing themselves. They have given it out, and it takes time.
Right. Yeah, George here was saying, I guess this is what he was using as a reference as far as the $56 shock, but that's actually what I had up on the screen with ULF. That's the one that I showed $269. So
I'm not sure it's 240 or 265. Sorry.
Yeah, like when I look at my buying options,
the price it's not in the $50 range.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, so I don't know. All right. Okay. Yeah. So Nelson says 56 is wrong. Yeah. Okay. Seems it.
Yeah, it's definitely wrong. Here in Germany, I think it's over €100. That's about $130 or so.
Marty says that Mike Leahy was jumping the hero. Marty, actually, I did not see Mike jumping the hero. When he jumped off the end of the loading dock, I thought that was actually on the S20, not the hero. But I might be mistaken on that.
No, I also see him jumping the hero. What I mean is over a longer time, Marty. And that not only goes for the hero, also for the S20, just to see how good and in the long time how good it works. Yeah.
So Marty says he has the soft tuner on his Android phone.
Okay, then it's Android now too. I didn't know that. At the start it was only iOS, and now it's Android. Okay.
I think I have it on my Android device as well. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Yep. Okay, we got lots of people that make funny jokes.
Which one?
Larry on air promo, which is Larry Zarkov. He is like the king of funny jokes. He likes to make jokes. Okay,
I can take some.
Yeah, I bet. So what? It's getting close to lunchtime there now, soon, Ulf, right?
Yeah. It's nearly 11. But as said, thanks for having me. It's great. Always talk to you. I like it.
So I assume your wife is there with you?
No, I'm without.
You're by yourself?
I'm by myself. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
My wife is at home. We have 2 dogs, and the smaller dog is only just a year old and can't be left alone. We can't give him to friends.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. But in general, this is how to say it. This is my holiday. My wife. Actually, she's not my wife.
Girlfriend?
It's my girlfriend. But since don't say anything wrong now. Ulf. Nearly 20 years.
20 years?
And yeah, 20 years. And we have a house together and everything. And so
Wow.
we just don't have a paper,
Okay. Hey,
Yeah.
if it works for you, that's
But
fine.
She is an envy for me being here. She was with me sometime, but it's not her thing. It's very hot here. She's no beach girl, and this island is very small. You can, if you don't dive, it's boring.
Okay.
Yeah, it's boring.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's not so much to see here. We can do a little climbing, but it's a diver island.
Right.
It's very nice. It's feeling like Caribbean, absolutely. Nice people, and the food is the absolute best. I love it.
Well, Marty just commented. He said Ulf is on a diet, right?
Water diet. Yes, yeah. Chang.
Why am I encouraging you to eat lunch?
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. Larry's surprised.
We'll do anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now the jokes are coming. In Thailand without your wife. Yeah. I know this joke.
I've heard about Thailand. There's a lot of fun things to do in Thailand.
Oh, please, yes, please stop. When you talk about, there are places in Thailand where I really never would go. One would be Pattaya.
Mm-hmm.
Pattaya is known that there are.
Well, that's where
60,
Larry.
70-year-old men with such a belly, with a 18-year-old Thai girl at the end.
Oh my God!
And when I see this, sorry, I'm. Yeah, no, really.
And that's where Larry wanted you to go. On air promo wanted you to go to Pattaya.
Pattaya is absolutely known for it. It's the worst place exactly for these things. Yeah, it's also nice beaches and everything, but especially there, German, English, American tourists. Oh my God!
Wow!
I hate it.
Yeah,
I really hate it.
That's funny. So Nelson says, is it too early to say the S20 is the wheel of the year? I would say yes, it's too early for sure.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's definitely too early. But I am still definitely looking forward to mine.
Gotway definitely made a counter with this 134, 32, 34, 34 volt wheel.
134, yeah.
And seeing the videos, and even with this battery option now, that's great.
Yeah, definitely.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only thing left is quality choice.
Yeah. So Shane says that he dated his wife for 10 years, but she eventually won when she pointed out that with U.S. law only protects her from testifying if that they're married. So that's okay. So he dated his wife for 10 years, or She was his girlfriend for 10 years before they get married, I guess. Wow.
Protect me from her having to testify for what? What are you doing?
I don't know what Shane's doing. I'm kind of afraid to ask. Marty says, "Ulf, you know that woman who loans you wheels, right?" I don't.
You know that woman who loans you wheels, right?
I don't know.
In the I was now. It's the first year since 3 years that I'm here. The last 2 years, because of COVID, I had no chance of coming.
Mm-hmm.
Thailand was pretty hard on letting people in. Only
really?
you can come, but you have to do everyone, even if fully vaccinated or not, had to do a 40 days quarantine. And that
40
just
days?
changed 14,
Oh, 14. Okay.
14 days quarantine with 3 PCR tests you have to pay yourself, and that just changed recently. And
Okay.
as soon as it changed, I took the chance and come over. And I don't know what exactly he's pointing out here, but there are videos on YouTube when you search my complete name um, from the guys in Bangkok who lent me the wheels, and one of them is a woman.
Okay.
A woman, and it's a couple. They lent me the wheels. Yeah, right. But this year I have to buy myself because I didn't come over Bangkok. Not possible because of the rules. So and renting you can only do in Bangkok. It's a big city and the biggest ESC community in Thailand. There would be no problem. But I landed on Koh Samui. Perhaps someone has heard of it. It's a bigger island with airport, and from there I shipped to Koh here. And so I bought one, got it sent to Koh Samui.
Yeah.
Then I
People.
will be selling it when I leave. I
Yeah.
leave it at a friend.
People that came in late, they probably didn't hear that, Ulf, that you actually bought a Tesla to use while you're on vacation.
T3, 1500 watt hours, great wheel.
Yeah. I've never ridden a Tesla.
Yeah, the only thing that I don't like is the small tire. It's a 2.125 inch.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Not even 2.5. 2.5 would be great, but it's 2.125.
Right.
And that's the only thing. And the streets are not that great here. But the power from the wheel is great. Yeah, I love it. Fantastic.
Yeah, they have a lot of torque, right?
I'm really a showboat here.
Oh, you
when
are.
I'm riding the wheel down in the city, and I'm a really showboat. All people are looking like I'm riding a UFO, you know.
Oh, so there's no one else around there that rides an electric unicycle.
No, not here on this island. No.
That's funny.
So, not even on this bigger island, Koh Samui. I first tried to rent a wheel from somebody in Koh Samui, but this is a very touristic island. Even there is no oil community, or a too small oil community.
Right.
But in Bangkok, it would be no problem. I even know the places where the people meet up, and I have made some pretty nice group tours there in Bangkok. And as said, when you search for my real name in YouTube, you can find about 3 or 4 videos of the guys who rent me a wheel and filming me first time on it. You know.
Okay.
You go forward and show me the way. I said, yeah, I show you the way here in Bangkok.
I guess
Pretty
Marty said
funny.
Marty saw a video where you were visiting a fellow woman rider, and she loaned you a wheel to ride.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's right. Yeah. But she was with a boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
A Tesla T3. Yeah.
Yeah. So you haven't done any videos of you riding your Tesla around, have you?
Wait, give me a second.
Okay.
Otherwise, my iPad will give up. And I think I need half a minute. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine. You can have half a minute. I can sit here and I can fill 4 hours. So I can fill half a minute, I think. So I don't think I got to thank people that came in here so far. We've had, 30, 35 people simultaneous. I appreciate that, guys. I mentioned earlier, I actually was out riding earlier, so I'll be doing a video tomorrow. Yeah, man. Ulf is rocking the tattoos. He's got some serious tattoos going on there.
Just on one arm.
Oh, those are your only tattoos right there? Okay. I don't have any. Yeah.
One arm completely, yeah.
Yeah, I see. Wow.
It's so warm here, you can't go with longer t-shirts or so. It's
right. Yeah, I'm sure.
You can, but still in adjusting phase and can't stand the heat so good.
I understand.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's easy to get around only. Yeah. English is nearly everybody speaking English. Yeah.
Oh, really? Everyone in Thailand speaks English?
Nearly. No, not everybody, but when you get to shops that sell anything to tourists or rent anything to tourists, they speak English.
Okay. I do not know that.
And street food shops, you can go by gestures what you want, please, and show it. And the best food is this of the street shops. Oh, your dog.
Can you get? Oh, you can hear that? she's she's sleeping on my feet, and I guess she's having a dog dream right now.
Yeah. I know from my dog also. You can hear it pretty good.
Oh yeah. So Nelson asked, "Did I get my GT yet?" No, I did not. He's referring to my Onewheel GT. I did not. I have my accessories. My GT will hopefully show up. I don't know, maybe by next weekend. I'm looking forward to it. But I did not.
Just wanted to ask: wasn't it announced for beginning of March? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my ship. Supposedly they're going to ship them out on Monday. All the people that ordered right away, they're going to ship them on Monday. So, yeah. So it's going to get here before the Kingsong for sure. And Brian asked, "Am I more excited about my Onewheel GT or Kingsong S20?" I would say it's a different kind of excitement. I mean, the GT is a totally different kind of experience than an electric unicycle. So, but I'm excited for both.
I would be also.
Yeah. Marty says, "I still hope to ride in." Marty wants to ride in Germany with you. Marty's already going to ride across the United States. Now he wants to ride in Germany too.
Wow, that would be great.
Wow. He's going to be the world. He's going to be.
Marty, do you have plans to visit Europe?
Yeah, I didn't know that. Wow. Maybe Marty wants to ride electric unicycles on every continent, like Europe and Africa, Asia. Who knows, man? Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah, if he has really plans to come to Europe.
Murray, maybe Elsa is dreaming of pooping in Lowe's again. You probably didn't hear this, Ulf, but she's had this issue. Elsa has this issue where I would take her into Home Depot and stuff, and and she decides to take a crap in the middle of the aisle when I'm walking down the aisle of one of these stores. And it's funny, like today I actually took her to one of those stores, and just because I'm so paranoid about it now, I walked her for like 10 minutes ahead of time, just walking her outside of the store to make sure she didn't poop in the store.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, it's not a fun time.
Is she older or?
She's 7. No, she's not that old. No, she gets very nervous. So I think that's what makes it happen.
Marty's half German.
I didn't know that. Or maybe he
I
told
didn't
me.
know too. Yes.
Oh wow. Does Marty speak German at all? I wonder. Wow. That'd be amazing if you got to ride with Marty. Wow. I just wanted to come to Florida.
Yeah, would be great. Unfortunately, we are still illegal, totally illegal, and we can't do such great rides as you can do in Los Angeles.
Do you have?
I would have a nice ride for us. I really would have a nice ride.
I've been seeing more people posting about getting arrested. Well, not arrested, but getting their wheels repossessed in England. But I mean, does that happen in Germany? Like do you have people, police that actually will take your wheel?
Yep, can happen.
Really?
Yeah, it's especially bad in Berlin.
Oh yeah.
In Berlin, where is more police than in other cities. Yeah, can happen. Can happen.
So if they see you on the road, they can pull you over.
Yeah, they can pull you over. Yeah. I'm not riding official streets, big streets. I'm just going side streets, with not a lot of traffic.
Right.
And but whenever I see the cops, I directly go up and trolley, because they have to get you really in the moment of driving on the street. So
Oh, really?
when I'm trolling it, they can't do anything. But if they catch you driving, you can get taken. In the worst case, they can take your wheel away, and you have to pay a really big fine, because it's like doing a criminal thing. It's no.
How big of a fine?
It's not like false parking. It's a really criminal,
Like how much? How many euro fine are you talking about?
That depends on your income. Here in Germany, we the fines are on your income. They say, like, when you have a daily income of 50, let's say 50 euro, yeah, they can say, okay, you pay 90 days, for example. Then 90 days, 50 euro, 4,500 euro. And if you are poor, then this 90 days can mean 900 euro. If you just have a 10 euro income, that's too low, but you understand.
900 euro? That'd be terrible. Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah. Really, but depends. The police actually don't have that lot of a clue, because we have so less riders here. The most riders know it's illegal, and as they know the laws, they don't do it. So there are not much. Some are giving a shit and saying, okay, if they catch me, then I pay the fine. Now I'm driving 6 years, and I never got caught and never paid anything, never got taken a wheel away. So all fine for me. But it's more bad in the really big cities. I have the luck. I live pretty much between two big cities, and there's a lot of green around, and playground for my dogs, and bicycle lanes and wood lanes where I can drive and have a lot of fun with my wheels. And I go shopping with them and all that, and drive to work and do everything. But it's all on a hidden way, let's say it like this. I don't big double streets, 2 lines for cars, other 2 lines, other direction. I don't take with my unicycle. That would be too much of a risk for me.
Right.
I don't want to have the trouble.
So Murray asked, like, if they take your wheel and you pay the fine, you get your wheel back, or do they, like, how does that work?
Yes, you get it back, but it can take a long time, 3 months to half a year. Depends.
Wow.
Really depends. It all depends on the officer who's catching you, how he is doing his stuff, and can't say exactly. Yeah. I have a friend in Berlin. He's got taken away early version of, I guess, was MSX or even M Super, and he still didn't get it back, and he never asked because he's still driving and don't want to get the attention again, so he never asked to get it back.
Okay.
Because he didn't make him pay a fine. They take it away. They wanted to make him pay a fine, but somehow it got forgotten or down the bureaucratic way, and so he just made it still, and now driving another wheel.
Right.
That's in Berlin.
So like they don't. It's not if you go a certain speed. It's like any wheel on a public road is illegal, basically.
It's totally illegal. Everything that goes faster than 4 miles an hour.
Okay.
6 kilometers.
Yeah.
Is called a motorized vehicle and has to have insurance. And that's the main problem behind it. You have to, if you want to take part in traffic, you have to have an insurance, because when you do a crash or something, and it's your fault, the in general they don't want you to have so that somebody can pay. Worse things can happen. You can drive against a child and it sits in a wheelchair or something and gets a rent for half of its life, and so you need insurance. And that's why they don't want any vehicles without insurance, and we don't get insurance as these are not registered vehicles. They are not registered.
Right.
And it's very old in our country. To get a vehicle registered, you have to. What's it? It has to have a
steering wheel.
A steering wheel.
Turn signals, probably.
Two different brakes, which is unlogical on a balancer. You can't have brakes.
Right.
Yeah. So we don't get this registration.
Yep.
Segway was one of the few companies who fighted till the biggest judgment until they got the right to have their own vehicle. So they got their own insurance and but nobody has done that for EOC now.
Okay.
There's an organization in Germany who is trying exactly that, going through law system and making the exact point as Segway has done, and saying we just want to be legal. Yeah, give us the chance.
Yeah.
because it's unlogic. They say you must have insurance. Then you go to your insurance, and they say no, you can't
get
have.
insurance.
So what? Yeah,
so
that's the
so
problem.
so
Sorry.
there are people trying to get those laws changed in Germany.
Um, 2 years ago, no, wait, 3 years ago, they allowed e-scooters, yeah, electric scooters
Yeah.
on the streets, but very slowly, only 20 kilometers per hour. That's,
Mm,
I guess, 13
yeah.
miles per hour.
Yeah.
Very slow. They have a small number plate around this size of
Oh, they
number
do.
plate. Yeah, really, they have a number plate. They have insurance. This insurance costs about $20 a year. It's nothing. So
Okay.
fine. Yeah. The plan was when they allowed the e-scooters, they also the law was ready to allow hoverboards, to allow EC, to allow e-skateboard, and then it's called in Germany. It's called Bundesrat. It's like your Senate.
Yeah.
Um, it says no, it's too dangerous. And since that, the law for these special vehicles is pretty much dead.
Oh, wow.
But as said, we have a community um, taking money and going through the law system to get a decision that we get legal.
Right.
It's a hard work. It's a long work. It will take years,
Yep.
but I guess the time will is on our side.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, electric vehicles, they're climate neutral and everything. Everything is on our side. It's totally even in Germany, you can have a bicycle with electric power. Yeah, bicycle.
Right.
That's the only exemption from the law. And but you are not allowed to drive an EUC. Where's the logic, please? Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
because if
electric.
right.
Pretty old women are on these electric bicycles, and they have a hard time to handle it because they are very powerful.
Yep.
And but we who can balance pretty perfect on the EUC, and it's even more stable than these slow scooters, e-scooters. We are not allowed. Uh, I need another half minute. I must charge my AirPods,
Okay.
or
No problem.
even one. Okay,
No
half minute.
problem. Half minute. No problemo. Did I see a question here for me? I don't know. So yeah, I am looking very much forward to my Onewheel GT showing up. I don't know if you guys saw the video I did yesterday. The charger for the Onewheel is huge, man. That thing is huge. Way bigger than any charger I've ever used for any of my EUCs. And the battery in a Onewheel is much smaller. But it is a 5 amp charger. So I thought that was impressive to have a 5 amp charger for such a small battery. I was just talking
For the GT.
for the Onewheel. Yeah, they have a 5 amp charger.
Wow.
It's crazy because the batteries on a
Wow.
Onewheel are way smaller, but and they're 2170 batteries. I'm not sure
Wow.
what manufacturer they are,
Do
but
you know which voltage it has?
it's like 76.5 volts.
Ah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's a massive
No.
charger. Yeah, I'm curious. I don't even know. I'm not sure what the watt hours is in the battery pack on the GT. I know it's bigger than the XR, but I'm not quite sure what it is.
Oh, you can pretty easy. It's what voltage?
76.5.
76.
16.5 is about 17S. Wow, 17S.
Yeah, because they advertise like the projected range of the board, but they don't say watt hours. 16S, do you think?
16S, yeah.
Oh wow.
Or they use the LiFePro 4 cells, but I don't think so. That would be
Yeah, I'm not sure what cells they use.
67.5. Normally 16S.
Well, it's 70. It's 76.5.
70.
Yeah, 76.5.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
Yeah, let me grab it.
Yeah, okay.
Alexa, turn on top.
Oh, come on, Wolf. 76.5.
Yeah, this is the charger. Just holding it up to my head. It's it's longer than my head. Yeah, well, yeah. The output is. I'm sorry. The output is 75.6 volts. 75.6.
Okay. 75.6 divided by 4.2. 18S.
18S.
There's
Okay.
18S. And 18 times 7, 6.6. What did I miss? When it's a two parallel system, then you get around 660 watt hours.
Okay. This I just was looking on Google and somewhere they posted that it's about 525 is what they are publicizing. 525 watt hour battery.
Okay, then they use a slightly different cell than
Yeah, I'm not sure what cell it is.
3.6. Yeah, perhaps they use a powerful cell, then powerful 2700 cell, then makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
They never said which cell they used.
That's someone doing a drop on their. I think that's their XR. Yeah, right here.
Wait, I checked the numbers for 18. 525, you said?
That's what I'm reading. I don't that's what someone posted. It was 525.
Okay.
It's a good size. It's much bigger than the XR for sure. I think the XR was 300 something.
I've got those numbers when they use 21700 cell with about 4000 mAh. That would be a Samsung 40T, and that would make sense. Two-piece system with lots of power makes much sense.
Yep. Yeah, it's supposed to have a lot of power.
Because, as I said, it has a lot more torque than before. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nelson asked what wheels do I have? I have the N10-3. I have the Ninebot Z10. I have the Inmotion V12. I have the Inmotion V11, and I have a Sherman currently. Once my S20 comes, I'm going to probably sell the V11. And if the V13 actually becomes a thing, I might try to see if I can manage to get a V13 somehow. So that's my game plan.
Mm-hmm.
Nelson also asked what charger the S20 comes with. It's a 5 amp charger as far as I know, right, Ulf? Isn't it a 5 amp charger?
Only on the pre-production. It's planned to be 6 amp.
Oh, so production is going to be 6 amp?
It's planned to.
Oh, okay.
More I can say. If they will have it, or the 5 amp, I don't know. But planned is 6 amp.
Because I know another thing that's been an issue with the pre-production wheels is that the charger doesn't actually take the wheel to 100% charge. It turns off before it actually gets to 100% charge.
It's a really cheap standard charger, and it only gives out 125 point. I've seen on Adam, it's 125.3, and that's much too less. You would need 126.6,
right,
to get the wheel to full. Yeah.
Yep.
Even more than 126 you would need.
Right.
And normally you can easily change that on those cheap chargers. If you have a voltmeter, you can adjust a little screw, and then they give out the correct voltage. But who's doing that? Who knows such stuff?
Yeah. Well, I do have a voltmeter, so I guess I could change it, but yeah, we'll see.
First measure it. Perhaps yours is okay.
Yeah.
Can also be.
Yeah. Larry mentioned that this charger here that I have, this is the hyper charger. This is an extra cost item. This is almost $200. The charger that comes with it probably charges it at maybe 2 amps, I believe. So yeah, this is an extra cost item.
But that what you showed now, this size will be the 5 amp charger of the S20 also.
Okay. Oh, it'll be about that big, you think?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Let's see. So Simon says that the GT is packing what looks like 18S2 battery.
Yeah, that's
makes sense, right?
Calculate.
Yeah. Okay.
21700 cells, and if they say 525 watt hour, then the cell they use have 4000 mAh, and that means it would be a Samsung 40T.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay,
yeah,
Marty's having TV night with the wife.
And that would be nice if you come to Germany. I can give you accommodation, no problem.
Yeah. E. Simon says, why is Future Motion so evasive about saying the battery size the GT will come with? It's hard information to find, and it shouldn't be. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not quite sure. They always publish their battery specs on projected range, and they don't actually give you the hard numbers. I don't know why that is, but it's weird.
Yeah. But as soon as the first GTs are out and someone is opening them,
they'll tear it down. Yeah. Yep. I'm sure.
But from the numbers, it's a really good cell inside.
Yeah. No, I think so.
With these numbers, there are not a lot. 21700 only good cells. Only good cells. I know.
Mm-hmm. Well, it seems in general that they use very high quality components on the Onewheel, so I'm hoping that's the way it's going to be with the GT as well.
Yeah, guess so.
Okay. Oh wow. Okay, you can answer this question, Ulf. I don't really have an answer.
Get your crystal ball out. Oh, I don't know. I would be interested to see if suspension gets more of a thing, and we have it in more wheels. And I guess we already see that with Hero, Master, and all.
Yep.
And probably then you can put some effort into light, backlight. Yeah, and
What you think is
can't
battery
see
technology gets better, you're going to have more capacity in a smaller package, you would think, right?
yeah,
So
but
they should be lighter.
we are already on the best cells on the market.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, question is if the new Tesla battery, the 4680,
Right.
will be getting industrial norm. It was with the 21700. Tesla started with this, and now it's the industrial norm. You even can't get 1860 50 cells are hard to get and very expensive because all battery manufacturers have gone now into 21700 production.
Yep.
And perhaps in the next 5 years, maybe we get to those 4680 batteries, maybe.
Yeah.
And that would be a big advantage. Yeah.
Yeah.
More amps, more power, more range would be great. But it has taken that long with the 21700, about 5 years.
About 5 years for them to replace the 18650s as the normal battery.
Yeah, they are.
So do you think that there's gonna continue to be an increase in the speed of the wheels, or do you think it's going to cap at any point?
Oh, that's I guess that's a discussing point. We can speak the whole night. For me personally, for me, it's enough already.
Right.
Sorry. Yeah, there are guys who are doing racings. Yeah, I've seen where
Yeah.
Toot is in and so.
Yep.
But which percentage of people are doing that? I guess the normal rider is happy with 30 miles per hour, perhaps 35, and having some safety above it. But when I personally ride, my speed is even under 30 miles per hour.
Right.
Very seldom, and I have a high-speed XN, and I hit 30 miles per hour seldom. I'm happy that I have the headroom.
Right. Right. Yeah, and that's why
Very happy.
Mm-hmm.
You are still standing free in the wind on just two pedals, have nothing to hold on. When even the smallest component on your motherboard dies, you face plant,
Right.
and it's not nice to face plant on a
No, it's not.
on a UC. I've done once with a really face plant because of a defect. This comes so fast that it even was on low speed, and I broke my ribs. It's not fun.
Oh wow, yeah. No,
Yeah.
it is. I agree. It is not fun.
And the quality has got much better in the last years. Me and Duff, we are doing this stuff since, I guess, 2015 or so.
Yep.
Yep, and we know the early days. I think, Duff, you can't imagine standing on a Ninebot E Plus again.
No.
You remember these times? I've seen you face plants or fall so often.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And most people don't know how the early days was, and we can be so happy with what we have now. I can't see a race even faster than what we already got. Come on, no. For
Yeah.
what? For what? I can. I'm driving on a about 8 meter wide bike lane. It's free, and even if I go very very fast, if somebody goes in my way, I don't know, a squirrel or something, yeah, and
Yeah.
it's unbelievable hard to make an emergency brake. And imagine, and especially for legalization, it's here in
Yes.
Germany. I can tell you, we will never get a wheel legal which goes faster than about 20 miles per hour or so.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and I understand it kind of, because just imagine a Tesla who is only running with regenerative braking, no other brakes at all.
Right.
Would you think it would be allowed? No.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Right.
absolutely not.
Yep.
Yeah, and even with the facts we have, if the board gets defect, it just rolls. You know,
Yep.
that's, I always think, a good comparison.
Yep.
Nobody would get the Tesla on the streets with just regenerative braking, and we have no redundance. And I can tell you, we are a one wheel, so probably we never get redundance. Never.
Right. No, I hear you for sure.
It's so hard to get redundance on a one wheel. You would lose half of the power for the redundance.
Right.
You know.
Yep.
So, example, 1800 watt hour wheel, you could only use 900 watt hours, because the other 900 watt hours must be on standby for redundance.
Right.
And you must have a motor with two kind of rotating magnets, which it's not possible to have
Right.
redundance, in my view.
Yeah.
Real redundance.
And it would be super expensive as well. It'd be very, very expensive.
Super expensive, super heavy.
Yep.
Not the performance we are used to, and somehow I know why they don't allow it. The Segway also only got the allowance because they have redundance, complete redundance for everything, for really everything, as they have two wheels.
Right.
But we don't have.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
So on air
and
promo, Larry was asking me about and talking about redundancy. You can get these things for the one wheel. They're called fangs, and basically what they are is they're two little wheels that go on the front underside of a one wheel.
yeah,
One wheels are also famous for cutting out in certain situations. So
yeah,
the way these work is it basically gives you redundancy. So if the wheel cuts out, you drop down onto these small wheels and hopefully keep rolling. Yeah, Larry, I've never had them. I'm familiar with them. From what I've heard from other people is sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, because if you're going at a high rate of speed and all of a sudden the nose drops, it's gonna affect your balance. So even though you have wheels in the front, you still might wind up falling on your ass. So it's nice, but it's definitely not a cure for cutouts for sure.
yeah.
Definitely
But
not.
I guess on the GT, when they really have the batteries I've seen, as long as you don't drive too fast, I can't
Right.
see those cutouts anymore.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
know, because these batteries are that powerful. Great.
Yep. No, I agree.
So hopefully,
Yeah.
no nosedives, or at least much less than before.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm
Did you
hoping.
have a nosedive with your? Do you have an XR or
XR. Yeah. No, I've never had a
XR?
nosedive. Never.
You never had one, yeah.
And
Okay.
it's almost it's the same scenario as an EUC basically. If you stay within the limits, and you're not accelerating
Exactly.
hard when you're going fast, you don't have cutouts. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, some people have gotten really hurt on one wheels by doing that. So, and
Yeah.
since they're an American company, there's the lawyers are all over them. There's a whole bunch of class action lawsuits against them, for this kind of stuff for cutouts.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I'm wondering why we don't have a Chinese clone.
Well, there is.
Meanwhile,
No,
a
there is.
trotter? You mean a trotter?
The trotter, yes, that's what it's called. The trotter is the Chinese ripoff of a one wheel, but my understanding is
Yeah, but
it's not very good, I guess.
yeah, exactly. It's not very good, but I guess it would be easy for a company like Gotway or Kingsong to produce a good one wheel.
Oh yeah, it would be.
Really easy because they have the right firmware. Trotter has not. That's what I understand when I
Right,
saw people driving. It doesn't have the smoothness and all,
right.
but I guess if a company like Kingsong or Gotway would do a one wheel, it would be faster. It would be more powerful. Uh, so I totally understand you buying a GT, yeah, but I guess future motion is a bit slow in development.
Yeah, they are.
And and expensive
Expensive.
also. And as we normally know, the most expensive part of our one wheels are the batteries.
Yep.
You know, that's just 36 cells. That's nothing.
Hmm. Yeah, it's crazy.
We have about 120 to 200 in ours.
I know it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
So, Ulf, it's getting
I know.
close. It's getting close to
Yeah.
midnight here. You know that?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Well, no, it's not your fault, but we've been talking for 3 hours and 11 minutes
Yeah,
so far.
I,
That's
I
pretty
did
good.
thought it. Normally, I had a plan today. 11:30. I would have the chance to get on a boat for diving, but that's over now.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry about that.
No problem. I already said them. I don't know. I'm in the internet chat, and if it gets interested, it can stay longer, and I don't
Mhm.
come. You know, it's not a must uh, to go there
So,
when you are.
do you normally dive every day?
Not every day, no,
Okay.
not every day.
Hmm.
It's not that it's too expensive, but sometimes I know the owners of the resort, and even if it's hard to see here in this land, really.
Hmm.
What COVID has done to this land here is unbelievable.
Really?
Yeah, this island and Koh Samui and the other island, they are living completely from tourism. And 2 years they had none,
Wow.
and there is so much closed and down, and it's hard to see for
Hmm.
someone who's. I'm coming here since 15 years, and whoa,
Yeah.
really hard.
Yeah, I bet.
And
Wow.
Thailand has no security systems or unemployment laws or something,
Yeah.
and only family can help in such times.
Right. Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, And here the resort, for example, has taken their stuff for the 2 years. They gave them the residence and food, but aren't able to pay them. But at least they have a place to live and to eat. It's really terrible what happens here. What had happened here. Now it's starting again. And Thai government opened now with an easy. It's called stop and go. You just when you arrive, you take one PCR test, stay the night in the hotel, and next morning get the result. And if it's negative, you are free to go everywhere. And
oh wow, okay.
So that's now easy again. And all the time before, no tourists were coming because 14 days quarantine. You can't.
Oh yeah.
Some days are happy when they can come 14 days, you know.
Right. Sure.
And even I, with my 30 days, I never would have done 14 days quarantine.
Right.
And so the land was dead. Nobody was making money, and but now they try to live with COVID.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that
they
opened
do
up.
Well. They do well. Now again.
Cool.
Now it's not doing well. It's getting down. It's getting up. Sorry.
Right.
It's getting up again. But normally I come in low season, and it's very empty on the island. But now in the moment it's even low season. So yeah. But I like that. It's great.
Yeah, sure. No, it's good.
Great. The nature here is so fantastic. You can't imagine. I have squirrels in front of my balcony, and so much funny things. Geckos. You know geckos?
Well, we have them in Florida, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yep.
You are in Florida. You also have a nice
birds and lizards, and we have all that.
Yeah, it's so great here, and the underwater is fantastic. Really.
Yeah, it's great.
Really fantastic.
Yeah,
I love it.
Cool. All right, Elf. Well, I think
I'll go. And I also what I want to say. I also love this chat. And once again, thanks for having me.
Of course.
Here in Thai, they say.
No, I appreciate
Kumakap. Thank you very much.
Oh yeah, very very cool. I appreciate you taking time out of your vacation to join me on this. So it's
it's not taking our time. It was fun. It's always nice to talk to you.
All right. Well, we'll keep in touch, Wolf, and maybe we'll do it again.
Yeah, sure.
Sounds good. All right. Well, enjoy the rest of your day. You got. It's only lunchtime for you. I'm gonna go to bed though.
Then, good night to you.
All right.
Are you at 5 beers now?
No, I stopped at 4. That was enough.
I stopped at 4. Yeah. Okay.
4 is good. Yeah. All right.
You would have an easy sleep with 5.
That's right. All right, Elf. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you later.
Not for this. I appreciated it. Thanks again.
All right. Bye.
And greetings to all your viewers. And
yes.
Can I left one sentence?
Yeah, sure.
For my S20 buy, I want to sell my 1815 watt-hour S18. If anyone is interested in Europe, contact me.
All right. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
That's okay. Sounds good. Talk to you later, Ulf.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye, Duff. Have a good night. Yeah.
You
Have
too.
a good sleep. Yeah.
All right.